Hello and welcome. This is Ina, and I would like to show you my new junk journal, which I have called Paris in Blossom. I am truly in love with this unbelievable city, and if you allow, today I would like to be your guide in a way and share with you a glimpse of it, make you imagine a wonderful day in Paris, daydreaming, walking, shopping, eating, and just admiring. The cover of this journal is an altered cover of the 1949 touristic guide Paris tel qu'on l'aime, Paris the way we like it. I have changed the spine by a new larger one to make this journal as chunky as I would wish. And I have covered it with vintage French upholstery velvet of Amélie Prévot. Here I will show you its sample. Very beautiful tissue. As a closure, I have used this gorgeous haute couture vintage metal button with a pearl. Here I have another one to show you. I do not know what brand it is. It is just obvious that it is of an excellent quality. And if you can see here at the back, there is a tiny stamp. I just really wanted to have this button here, and I have found a very simple way to attach it. Below this video I have included a link to a brief tutorial on how to attach a button like this to a journal cover. It is very simple indeed. And as a true addict of silk velvet, I have added a ribbon like this. I really like its softness, both literally speaking, I mean its tactile sensations, and figuratively speaking of the color. And I have added metal corners for more protection. This journal, as you can see, is of a smaller format. It measures 17 per 10 centimeters. It is quite chunky. The spine is 7 centimeters large. It has 5 signatures and about 130 pages, both sides counted. And its weight is about 700 grams. So let's open it. The signatures are sewn by a waxed linen thread to a hidden fabric spine, which I have reinforced with tear-proof paper Tyvek. So the first page is covered with fabric, with a soft flowers collage. This leaf here can be moved, and I have embellished it with 2 glass vintage buttons, and here in this pocket I have put an antique chromolithographic trade card with an advertisement of a Paris straps shop. There is also an authentic antique blank postcard with a view of the Eiffel Tower. Let's put it back. Here in this tuck spot I have put a menu of 1935. And this is the first page of this guide that I used the cover. Paris tel qu'on l'aime. I have added this lace trim, and here there is a very nice scrap of Ernst Freihof. It's made in Germany. Here at the back we can see the year of the edition. I have put this very nice airy lace doily in the Venice style, a small vintage metal and pearl button, and a paper clip. By the way, all the paper clips in this journal are vintage French made. Here are their boxes. And to the right there is a page from the catalog of the department store aux classes laborieuses for summer 1923. And of course, when I see paper so fine, so fragile, I am always tempted to add equally delicate and thin and fine lace, like here. The page to the right is from an antique French wine merchant ledger for 1911-1917. I will show it to you in a moment. Here it is just enormous, just for you to have a glimpse. There is also a fascicut of roses. All the roses, all the flowers basically that you can see here come from one of these books. Romantic Roses by Pierre-Joseph Rodeté, Taschen 2002, or also Pierre-Joseph Rodeté, The Book of Flowers. This is a newer book of 2017. Next, there is a very special, I would say, tuck spot. For making it, I use this vintage shoulder collar, and this is its original glass button. And to close it in a very simple way, I have attached small ribbon. And the image at the back comes from this book, l'album photo de la tour raconté par Arthur Comte, La Tour Eiffel, the photo album of the Eiffel Tower by Arthur Comte, edition La Croix. Where is it? Yeah, here of 1980. Let's move on. Here we can see the back of this page, and to the right we can see another vintage lace trim, the lace of Calais or Valenciennes. Inside there are two lovely postcards, quite unusual. One is in color, the other one is the same motif but to color yourself. These cards come from this gorgeous album, These are watercolor paintings of a very loved French watercolor painter, Lily Giry, of the late 19th, early 20th century. Les fleurs de nos jardins, Études de la rose. Here you can see it. The album was printed in Paris in 1920s. And behind there is a page handwritten, which comes from this diary of 1932, Grand Magasin du Printemps. There you can see it. Then there is this spread that I am particularly fond of. I take off this paper clip first. Here there is a lunch menu of 1922 with a gorgeous decoration, a floral decoration en relief, beautiful handwriting at the back. And to open this spread, there are two halves of an antique doily or coaster that we pull aside, and we have this huge beautiful page inside. This large page comes from another gorgeous French ledger. Here it is. It's a shop ledger, Journal de la Casse, of 1920s. I find this script really very, very beautiful. By the way, I should mention that all the writing papers in this journal come from authentic, antique or vintage French ledgers. And I have embellished this page with some paper napkin decoupage. I am using here the technique shown by Julie from Camellia Crafts Designs in one of her videos. Thank you very much, Julie, for this idea. I will include the link to her video below. So let's close this spread. And by the way, the fascicats here come from the gift wrapping paper, Italian Tassotti. Let me show you a piece. Sorry for the noise. Here it is, and it's very easy to fascicut, and it's just gorgeous. So yeah, here we had this paper clip with this lovely vintage metal button, and once we turn the page over, we can see this lovely tag with two girls. I have added as a tab some leather strip. Behind there is some journal and space, and a vintage lace trim. These girls, their image comes from one of these two books. I do not remember which one exactly. It's either Paris Mon Amour by Jean-Claude Gautran. This book is of 2004, or Paris Mythique, 100 photos, legendary photos, photo de légende. If you have a chance, I would really advise you to have a look at these books, because really There are plenty of unbelievable, legendary photos of Paris therein. So, to the right, the background comes from the scrapbooking paper Fabrica Decoro. It's a Ukrainian brand. Here we have a pocket with a silk velvet trim. There is also an empty envelope of the early 20th century. Here we have another page from the French wine merchant's ledger of 1911-1917 that I have shown you. Behind I have put an antique postcard written and sent in 1914 with one of the Paris views. Here there is another image of a rose. As you can imagine, I had lots of fun with the fussy cutting of these fine stems. Another page from the catalogue Aux Classes Laborieuses, a page from the 1949 Paris Guide, and as the tabs here, I have used some antique French lace from cuffs. The page to the right has this very delicate veil of some vintage lace in very tender pink color, and behind this page with an advertisement of dresses and furs shop in Paris is from a very old Paris guide of 1977. Here you can see Guide de l'étranger dans Paris et ses environs, offered that is a foreigner's guide in Paris and around, offered by a certain Monsieur Morin, Mr. Morgan, by the administration of Grand Hôtel à Paris in Paris in 1977. At the back, there is another page from the same 1877 Paris guide. To the right, you can see another beautiful roses page from the Romantic Roses by Pierre-Joseph Rodeté. I have stamped it with some French phrases, inspiring nice phrases like enjoy simple things, take your time, relax, create, and so on. There is a very fine vintage lace trim that I have sewn to this page. At the back, I have collaged some parts from the 1877 guide, and here to the right you can see a very beautiful pocket made of the 19th century handmade lace doily. Inside I have inserted a journaling card for which I used a photo from the book Paris Mythique, and at the back I have stamped here a phrase "J'accepte la grande aventure d'être moi" by Simone de Beauvoir. It could be translated as I accept the grand adventure of being myself. And by the way, this paper is also very old. It comes from this small notebook of a French tailor of 1930s. Here there is another silk velvet trim. Behind this page, by the way, this page comes from another French ledger. This one is from 1930s. I have embellished it with more lace. And by the way, speaking of the laces in this junk journal, there are quite many varieties. In total, there are more than 30 different antique and vintage French laces that you would be able to discover in this journal. This image to the right is from quite a recent book of 2020, Paris Aquarelle, Watercolor Paintings of Paris, by Fabrice Moirot. Wait a second. Paris Moirot, yes, and Benoît Dutertre, les éditions du Pacifique 2020. The background here is the image of roses of this very nice gift wrapping paper of Ullman, gift wraps by artists. Here you can see this very nice vintage tuile, hand embroidered. It's very delicate indeed. And the paper here comes from this diary, Grand Magasin du Louvre, of 1913, but in fact it was handwritten in 1915. That is why there are some corrections of the dates. To the right you can see another very delicate lace doily, triangular one, as a tuck spot, and inside there is an authentic vintage photo of this dreamy, beautiful lady. You can see its stamp here. Another scrap of a rose of Ernst Freihof. Here I have sewn a page, a piece of the rice paper. The page to the right is from the 1949 Paris guide, and this one I have embellished with some pressed flowers. They are securely sealed here. You can see some more paper napkin découpage. I really love how it has turned out on this page. Another page from the diary Grand Magasin du Louvre. And I really love this page because I find it extremely dreamy and sweet, and you have this butterfly. This is also Ernst Freihoff scrap, and this tuile as if symbolizing the briefness, the fragility of happy moments. You have this happy child having great time. Here another page from the watercolor images of Paris, and here there is a tax pot that I have made, having sewn this gorgeous lace doily. Behind I have put another vintage envelope. It's empty, from 1948, and here there is a page. You can see some descriptions, some photos of the Eiffel Tower. This page comes from this leaflet. Bibliothèque de Travail, la Tour Eiffel, from 1951. Here there is a piece from the, I do not have it at hand, I believe this is a diary of the department store Au Bon Marché, as you can see, from 1890. Here there is a small vintage button, Mode de Paris, Paris fashion, and yes, to the right you can see I have used a part of the authentic shopping bag of Louis Vuitton, and this idea I have had it from Maria from J'adore le papier. Thank you, Maria. Here the tab here is from the ribbon from this shopping bag. And when we speak of Louis Vuitton, of course we speak of luxury.